The night was thick with fog as the old asylum loomed, a decaying relic of the 1920s, its crumbling facade whispering secrets long forgotten. The moonlight struggled to penetrate the dense mist, casting eerie shadows upon the shattered windows and crumbling walls. A group of ghost hunters, undeterred by the ominous atmosphere, gathered outside, their breaths visible in the chill. Leading the team was Lorenz, a seasoned paranormal investigator with eyes that had seen too much and a heart that still raced with excitement. His team, consisting of Shane, the tech expert, Lisa, the empath, and David, was helping to carry all the equipment they will be using for the unknown. The heavy asylum doors creaked open and they stepped inside, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. The air was thick with a nauseating scent, a mixture of decay and despair that clung to their skin. The building seemed to pulse with a life of its own, as if the tortured souls of the past still lingered in the cold, damp corridors, crying to be released from their pain. Lorenz, his voice steady, addressed the team. "Remember, we're here to understand, not to provoke. Let's find out what calls this place home after all these years, and why explorers do not survive here." They ventured deeper, their footsteps echoing through the empty halls. As they explored, the walls seemed to close in around them, and the air grew colder. Words were painted all around the walls, and some had some eerie slogans like, "Keep out, they will not let you go." Lisa shuddered, her empathic senses overwhelmed by the residual fear and suffering that saturated the asylum's every brick. In a room long forgotten, they found remnants of the past rusted bed frames, tattered straitjackets, and faded photographs of unsmiling faces. Faces the reflected pain and emptiness filled their eyes. Shane's equipment flickered with activity, capturing the chilling whispers of the lost souls that still roamed the halls. The team felt a growing unease, a sensation that they were being watched by eyes that no longer existed. And it is if the eyes is getting closer with each move they make. Suddenly, a door slammed shut, trapping them in a suffocating darkness. The temperature plummeted, and a guttural moan reverberated through the walls. Panic set in as shadows chanced, playing tricks on their terrified minds. What or how it really is, they can't make out. Laurence, his voice quivering, shouted, "Stay together, we need to find a way out!" But the asylum had other plans. A ghastly apparition emerged from the shadows, its eyes hollow and its presence suffocating. The ghost hunters could feel its malevolence, a tangible force that clawed at their sanity. In a desperate attempt to escape, they stumbled upon a hidden chamber, its walls adorned with grotesque symbols and decaying remains. As they tried to make sense of the room's purpose, the very essence of the asylum seemed to seep into their bones, filling them with an unbearable dread. Shane's equipment malfunctioned, its screen displaying cryptic messages in a language long forgotten. Lisa clutched her head, overwhelmed by visions of the asylum's gruesome past, each scream and cry reverberating in her mind. David whispered, "We're not alone here. We're surrounded by the echoes of madness and despair." Shane tried to move to the decaying wall closest to him. He suddenly felt something under his feet. He looked down and there was a human pelvis bone under his one foot. He gasped for air and just screamed, "Look on the ground." Everybody looked in the dim light of the flashlight and saw what scared Shane so much. Everybody was paralyzed of fear at this stage just looking at the very old decayed pelvis bone. They felt paralyzed. It took a while to get rid of that feeling of being paralyzed. They started to notice the walls seemed to pulse with a sickening energy, and the team realized they were not just observers. They were part of the asylum's horrific tale. Every scream, every whisper, every touch of icy fingers became a shared experience, binding them to the tortured souls that wandered the halls. In a desperate bid for survival, they recited an incantation they found on the decaying walls, hoping to appease the vengeful spirits. But before they were able to start moving towards the wall, the air crackled with malevolence, and for a moment, time stood still. Then, with a deafening roar, the spirits were gone, leaving behind an oppressive silence. The asylum, once alive with the agony of the past, fell into an eerie stillness. They had to wait until daybreak, shaking from the night's events. As the first light of dawn broke through the windows, Liza noticed that Shane was not with the group anymore. The rest of the group called out to him, retracing their steps to all the places they were the night before. No sign of Shane. David decided to phone the police to come help look for their friend. There was no signal inside the asylum, like something or someone is blocking the signal. The ghost hunters looked for the first door that led outside and started to run for the door. They emerged, changed forever by the night's horrors. The group was silent and terrified. They kept on staring at the asylum's door, and tears were in their eyes. As David phoned the police and explained what happened, the officer said they must stay put until the police arrived. As the police arrived and took their statements and went in to look for Shane, the asylum, now silent, held its secrets close, its walls forever marked by the terror they had witnessed. The group waited for the police to come back out of the asylum. After it felt like an endless wait. The police emerged out of the old rusted door of the asylum, startled by their finding. They had found fresh, writhing and blood agents the wall in the room where Shane disappeared that said, "Do not come back ever again." Shane was never found. The writhing was not there when they left the room, so this was happening while they were outside. Terrified and tired, they all left and went back to their own lives. The ghost hunters, always bothered by the disappearance of their friend. Shane was never found. His friends never forgot him and warned other ghost hunters to avoid that asylum. We need to be careful to not want to dig too deep into the past. There is a world full of haunting history and the negative effects of what we as humans did. The group realized that their friend Shane was now part of the horror of the asylum.